Welcome to Real Free News Radio, where truth confronts the forces shaping America's future. This report examines critical issues: Trump's immigration reforms, FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino's revelations of Obama-era corruption, the Traverse County Walmart stabbing, Representative Paul Gosar's challenge to Big Pharma, Chinese land acquisitions in Nebraska, Nigel Farage's warnings of Britain's collapse, cognitive and sleep strategies for longevity, and the vanilla chocolate ice cream divide. Each topic exposes systemic betrayals, external threats, and cultural polarization, demanding bold action to restore sovereignty, accountability, and unity. Delivered with a critical perspective, this analysis offers unapologetic insights for a global audience. Trump's immigration overhaul, strengthening American sovereignty. President Donald Trump's administration is implementing transformative changes to U.S. citizenship and visa policies, prioritizing national security and American workers. Joseph Edlow, Director of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, has declared the current naturalization test inadequate, allowing applicants to memorize answers without grasping the law's intent. A revised civics test, requiring a higher number of correct answers, will ensure immigrants align with American values. This addresses long-standing criticisms that the system permits superficial compliance, undermining the integrity of citizenship. The test's overhaul aims to foster a deeper understanding of constitutional principles, ensuring new citizens contribute to a cohesive national identity. The administration is also reforming the H-1B visa program for skilled foreign workers. Edlow emphasizes prioritizing applicants with higher wage offers to prevent tech companies from displacing American workers with lower-paid foreign hires. Bureau of Labor Statistics data from 2024 reveals H-1B workers often earn 15 to 20% less than their American counterparts, fueling resentment among domestic professionals. This policy counters tech giants' profit-driven exploitation, which has prioritized cost-cutting over American labor. By raising wage thresholds, the administration seeks to protect domestic workers, ensuring the program serves national interests rather than corporate greed. USCIS is addressing abuses in the Special Immigrant Juvenile Program, which grants residency to abused, neglected, or abandoned foreign minors. A 2025 review uncovered 600 MS-13 gang members exploiting age and identity fraud. Spokesman Matthew Tregesser condemned open border advocates and activist judges for enabling this misuse, accusing them of prioritizing ideology over security. Stricter verification protocols, including biometric screenings, aim to restore the program's integrity, preventing criminal elements from exploiting humanitarian pathways. This crackdown reflects a broader commitment to securing legal migration channels from abuse. On July 23, 2025, Trump spoke in Washington, denouncing tech companies for favoring foreign workers and offshore profits, stating, "This betrayal of American labor ends now." A proposed $250 visa integrity fee for temporary foreign entrants is projected to generate $4 billion annually, funding border security enhancements. Critics argue these measures should have been enacted during Trump's first term, as illegal entries surged 12% from 2020 to 2024, per Customs and Border Protection data. Delayed action allowed loopholes to persist, exacerbating challenges like overwhelmed border facilities and strained communities. The administration's current push, while bold, faces skepticism over its timing and enforcement rigor. These reforms signal a commitment to American sovereignty, but their success hinges on overcoming resistance from corporate elites and judicial activists who profit from lax policies. The public, weary of exploitation, demands tangible results. Enforcement must be relentless, with regular audits to ensure compliance. Failure to deliver risks further erosion of trust in a system long manipulated by globalist agendas, leaving American workers and communities vulnerable. FBI's reckoning, Bongino's exposé on Obama-era corruption. FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino has ignited a firestorm with revelations of systemic malfeasance within the Obama administration, centered on the Russiagate scandal. On July 26, 2025, via X, Bongino expressed outrage over an ongoing FBI investigation, spurred by a criminal referral from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. The probe alleges Obama-era officials weaponized law enforcement and intelligence operations to undermine Donald Trump's 2016 campaign. This abuse of power, Bongino asserts, represents a betrayal incompatible with a functioning republic, threatening democratic principles. A July 23, 2025, ODNI report by Director Tulsi Gabbard details a treasonous conspiracy among intelligence officials, including former FBI Director James Comey, who authorized surveillance based on unverified intelligence, violating constitutional protections. Declassified documents reveal efforts to fabricate ties between Trump and foreign entities, undermining the 2016 election's integrity. Gallup polls from 2016 show a 10% drop in public trust in federal agencies, a direct consequence of this betrayal. The investigation aims to expose these manipulations, holding accountable those who subverted democratic processes for political gain. Bongino's indignation, however, invites scrutiny. As a former Secret Service agent under Obama, his silence during that era raises questions about his vigilance. His current role demands action, not theatrics. Critics note his media commentary, often verbose, lacks tangible outcomes, with no indictments filed despite years of allegations. If the abuses are as severe as claimed, earlier action was warranted. His failure to act sooner suggests either incompetence or complicity, undermining his credibility. The public expects results, not posturing, from a high-ranking official tasked with dismantling corruption. The investigation's implications are profound, potentially dismantling entrenched bureaucratic elites. Without prosecutions, Bongino's rhetoric risks becoming performative grandstanding, fueling public outrage without delivering justice. The probe must identify specific actors, secure evidence, and pursue legal consequences to restore faith in federal institutions. Historical parallels, such as Watergate, underscore the need for transparency and accountability. The American public, betrayed by institutional elites, demands a reckoning. Failure to deliver risks further erosion of trust, leaving the nation vulnerable to future abuses of power. Big Pharma's reckoning, Gosar's bill to end injection liability protections. Representative Paul Gosar's H.R. 4668 seeks to dismantle the National Childhood Injection Injury Act of 1986, which shields pharmaceutical companies from liability for injection-related injuries. The bill allows direct lawsuits in state or federal courts, challenging a system favoring corporate profits over human suffering. The NCVIA, signed by President Ronald Reagan, created a bureaucratic compensation program forcing victims to navigate a labyrinth before litigation, protecting Big Pharma's $300 billion revenue, per IBIS World 2024. H.R. 4668 eliminates exemptions for unavoidable side effects and removes requirements to prove fraud or intentional withholding, barriers that have blocked justice. Gosar stated, immunity provisions shield Big Pharma from accountability, denying justice to those harmed. With a Republican-controlled Congress in 2025, the bill could disrupt the pharmaceutical industry's status quo, empowering victims to seek redress without bureaucratic obstacles. The NCVIA's enactment through executive overreach bypassed robust congressional debate and state input, undermining federalism. A 2023 Heritage Foundation report estimates it saved manufacturers $50 billion in liabilities while victims received $4.2 billion in compensation. Reagan's acquiescence enabled a system enriching corporations at the public's expense. The pharmaceutical industry's influence in the 1980s, coupled with Reagan's deregulatory zeal, facilitated this legislative betrayal, prioritizing corporate interests over individual rights. H.R. 4668 corrects this injustice, restoring accountability. Its passage would signal a rejection of corporate capture, ensuring Big Pharma faces consequences for injection-related harms. Critics argue the bill could increase litigation costs, but supporters counter that accountability will drive safer products. The public demands justice, not protection for corporate giants. This reform is a critical step toward prioritizing individual rights over entrenched interests. Traverse County Walmart stabbing, media manipulation and societal decay. On July 26, 2025, a 42-year-old Michigan resident stabbed 11 people at a Traverse County Walmart, leaving 6 in critical condition. The Grand Traverse Sheriff's Office, with public assistance, apprehended the suspect. The FBI, under Deputy Director Dan Bongino, supports the investigation, while Governor Gretchen Whitmer praised first responders via X. This brutal 4:45 p.m. assault exposes societal fractures worsened by media obfuscation and political cowardice, reflecting a broader decline in public safety. Mainstream outlets' knife attack label sanitizes the perpetrator's actions, omitting demographic details. A 2024 Media Research Center study found 68% of violent crime reports involving non-white perpetrators avoid identifying backgrounds, compared to 12% for white perpetrators. This selective reporting shields certain groups while vilifying others, eroding public trust. The incident follows a July 2025 Wayne, Michigan, church shooting, where similar sanitization obscured suspect details, suggesting a pattern of deliberate narrative control. This media agenda prioritizes ideological protection over truth. Michigan's violent crime has risen 15% since 2020, per state police data, partly tied to unchecked migration. Concealing suspect identities fosters denial, hindering solutions to crime and migration challenges. The Walmart stabbing demands scrutiny of the perpetrator's motives, background, and potential ties to broader criminal networks. Media complicity in distorting reality undermines honest discourse, leaving communities vulnerable to escalating violence. The incident reflects a failure of leadership to address root causes, such as lax enforcement and ideological bias. Public safety requires transparent reporting and rigorous investigation, not euphemistic cover-ups. The media's role in shaping perceptions must be challenged to restore integrity to public discourse. Without accountability, such incidents will persist, further eroding trust and safety in American communities. Nebraska's betrayal, Chinese land grabs and the call for investigation. President Donald Trump's National Farm Security Action Plan, announced July 8, 2025, by USDA Secretary Brooke Rollins, bans Chinese nationals and adversaries from owning U.S. farmland, citing national security. Supported by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, Attorney General Pam Bondi, and Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, the plan enhances transparency, imposes 25% land value penalties for violations, and cancels 7 agreements with adversarial nations, removing 70 affiliated individuals. Nebraska, exporting $2.2 billion in agricultural products to China annually, is a focal point. Governor Jim Pillen and Senator Pete Ricketts face allegations of facilitating Chinese land acquisitions. Despite Pillen's resistance to Syngenta's holdings, Nebraska's lax oversight allowed foreign entities to amass farmland. Ricketts, co-sponsoring the AFIDA Improvements Act, publicly opposes foreign ownership but is accused of complicity. A 2024 USDA report estimates Chinese entities own 1.2% of Nebraska's farmland, likely underreported due to weak disclosure laws. This betrayal exploits Nebraska's trusting populace. The state's failure to enact robust restrictions, unlike Arkansas or South Dakota, suggests corruption. A federal investigation must probe Chinese land ownership, financial ties to leaders, weak state policies, and impacts on farmers facing 20% profit declines since 2020, per USDA data. Nebraska's complicity threatens national food security, demanding accountability to protect American agriculture from foreign influence. Farage's warning, Britain's collapse and the West's wake-up call. Nigel Farage, leader of Reform UK, warned on July 21, 2025, of Britain's societal collapse due to lawlessness, ineffective policing, and foreign influence via multicultural policies. Citing 33% of Londoners victimised by mobile phone theft and two-tiered justice under Prime Minister Keir Starmer, Farage notes eroding trust. A 2024 YouGov poll shows 62% of Britons feel less safe than a decade ago. Farage proposes exiting the European Court of Human Rights, which blocks deportations of foreign criminals, adopting zero-tolerance policing, and outsourcing incarceration. His three-strikes rule denies rehabilitation to repeat offenders, while army-run reform centers discipline petty criminals. These measures echo Rudy Giuliani's 1990s New York reforms, which cut crime by 40%, per NYPD data. Farage's plan includes recruiting 30,000 police officers and building Nightingale prisons to address overcrowding. Britain's leadership has embraced multiculturalism, eroding cultural cohesion. The ECHR and weak deportation policies enable 12,000 non-citizen inmates in UK prisons, per 2024 Home Office data. This mirrors US failures, where naive politicians allow foreign encroachment. Farage's nationalist call to reclaim sovereignty is a blueprint for Western revival, urging decisive action against globalist betrayals. His focus on deporting foreign prisoners, including negotiations with Albania's prime minister, aims to restore deterrence. Longevity through mind and rest, verbal fluency and natural sleep. Research identifies verbal fluency and sleep quality as critical longevity predictors. The Berlin Aging Study from 1990 to 2008 found that high verbal fluency, measured by rapid word retrieval, correlated with a 9-year lifespan increase. Paulo Gislata explains that fluency reflects robust brain health, requiring memory, processing speed, and executive control. Daily linguistic exercises, such as reading aloud, solving crosswords, or learning new words, strengthen neural pathways, accessible to all ages and backgrounds. These practices cultivate mental vigor, ensuring cognitive resilience over time. A 2025 Nature Aging study links deep and REM sleep to reduced neurodegeneration. Rebecca Robbins warns that chronic sleep disruption accelerates Alzheimer's-related atrophy in regions like the precuneus. Deep sleep clears toxic proteins like beta-amyloid, while REM consolidates memory. Natural wakefulness, achieved by waking without alarms, optimizes circadian rhythms, enhancing restorative sleep. Consistent bedtimes, morning sunlight exposure, avoiding evening caffeine or alcohol, and aerobic exercise boost REM sleep, creating a neuroprotective cycle. These strategies empower individuals to combat cognitive decline. Linguistic exercises fortify the mind, akin to tending fertile soil. Natural wakefulness aligns with biological rhythms, fostering brain health. Online protocols guide this transition, debunking myths of impracticality. Avoiding evening stimulants and blue light supports restful sleep, protecting against decline. Ullman Lindenberger asserts that mental engagement and restful sleep ensure enduring vitality. These evidence-based habits reject convoluted health trends, offering a path to clarity and resilience for a vibrant, extended life. The ice cream divide, vanilla versus chocolate and America's polarization. The vanilla chocolate ice cream debate mirrors America's cultural divide. Vanilla, with a 28% market share per the International Dairy Foods Association in 2024, is lauded for its versatility. Emily Hartwell describes it as a canvas for toppings, appealing to traditionalists evoking nostalgic simplicity. Chocolate, at 15%, offers indulgent depth, with theobromine-inducing euphoria, per Marcus Reed. The author champions chocolate's bold complexity, dismissing vanilla's timidity as a lack of sensory ambition. A 2025 American Culinary Institute survey shows 62% of Americans are loyal to one flavor, with 10% alternating. This polarization reflects societal rigidity, with transient crossovers driven by mood. Vanilla's dominance stems from inertia, while chocolate aligns with innovation. Critics of chocolate claim it overpowers, but its intensity is a virtue for discerning palates. The lack of compromise mirrors broader divisions, where preference becomes identity. The debate calls for openness to diverse tastes, with chocolate's superiority tempered by vanilla's situational appeal. Conclusion: a call to action for truth and sovereignty. America faces a multifaceted crisis: immigration loopholes, bureaucratic corruption, media manipulation, corporate immunity, foreign land grabs, societal decay, and cultural polarization. Trump's immigration reforms tighten citizenship and visa rules, prioritizing American workers against globalist exploitation. Bongino's exposé on Obama-era malfeasance demands accountability for treasonous acts that undermine democracy. The Traverse County Walmart stabbing exposes media bias, shielding suspect details to protect liberal agendas, perpetuating a climate of denial. Gosar's H.R. 4668 challenges Big Pharma's immunity, restoring justice for those harmed by injections. Nebraska's complicity in Chinese land acquisitions threatens food security, necessitating a federal investigation to expose corruption. Farage's warnings of Britain's collapse serve as a clarion call for the West, urging nationalist resurgence against globalist betrayals. Verbal fluency and natural sleep empower longevity, offering personal agency amid systemic failures. The vanilla chocolate divide reflects a polarized nation, calling for openness to bridge cultural gaps. These issues demand unapologetic action to reclaim sovereignty, accountability, and clarity. The public must reject elite betrayals, from corporate greed to media obfuscation, and embrace truth. A unified response is critical to counter foreign influence, restore institutional trust, and heal cultural divides. Like, share, subscribe, and share your opinions in the description. Visit realfreenews.com for more unfiltered truth, and join the fight to restore America's strength and unity.